let's hope that I'm not posting this too late, but I mean, really, what is time? Hey guys, how's it going? It's That Nerd Ryan here, and today we're going to be discussing the Time Variance Authority, or the TVA, which was introduced in Loki a few weeks ago. So, by the time of recording this, full disclosure, I just want to say episode 2 came out today. So, I could be making this video and they could have already explained it, but I'm fairly confident that I can explain this to you after watching 2 episodes, being somebody that's a huge fan of quantum physics and stuff like that. Now, I will disclaim to you, I am no expert in quantum physics. This is my understanding from basically somebody that likes BioShock Infinite and likes anything that's in that quantum-y area and time travel and stuff like that. I am no expert, but I'm somebody that likes to research that stuff. So let's talk about the TVA really quick and what we're talking about today. So the Time Variance Authority jumps around time and prunes any type of variant that could mess with the sacred timeline. Now, what the sacred timeline is basically everything that we've seen in every Marvel movie. That is the sacred timeline. Now, a variant would be like what happened with Loki in Endgame and Loki. Somebody that does something that they're not supposed to do, that causes another branch of the timeline, creating a new, basically an alternate timeline or new universe or something like that that you want, however you want to see it. Basically, taking this from a BioShock Infinite standard, there are constants and variables. So the way that this timeline works in Marvel, is that the TVA wants everything to be constant. So, for example, Thanos snapping, Iron Man dying, trying to think of something stupid, Thor liking coffee. Those are all constants in the timeline that must stay. So things changing, like Loki stealing the Space Stone, creating a variable, creating a new timeline, or anything that we'll see in What If, basically, would be creating a new timeline in this variable. So, in that, they try to prune it so the timeline stays straight like this and doesn't spiral out of control like we see at the end of episode 2, or like we see in the nice little cartoon in the first episode. So, the real question is, how does the TVA know when something happens in whatever time, and where do they exist in time? Which Loki even brings up in episode 2. He goes, we are from the future, right? How does it work? Which, that's what we're going to talk about, is where is the TVA in this timeline? So, using my arm as an example again, so let's say that this is the timeline. What I think is the TVA exists right here. Now, what I mean by that is they are disconnected from the timeline. We do know that the end of time has not been created yet, that the timekeepers are still working that out. However, we know that we are not at that point in time. We also know that we are not at the beginning of time. We are not in 2012. We're not in 2023, anything like that. You could tell with how the technology is run and everything like that. It has the modern vintage look of like the 80s along with modernness in it. That's what I mean by modern vintage. And it's, from what I can put together, is the TVA is completely separate from the timeline in its own little pocket dimension. If that makes sense. So the TVA itself the people, we can tell that the people that run the TVA were never in the actual timeline where somebody doesn't know what a fish is. Owen Wilson saying that he was born in that time, in that area, and stuff like that. We understand that these not timekeepers, but TVA. We understand that these TVA agents are outside of the timeline, never being able to see something as simple as a fish or anything like that. So, with that, they're also able to look at any time up till 2050 in episode 2, all the way back to Pompeii in episode 2, and just anywhere along the timeline, because they exist out of time. And they do even mention in the first episode that the TVA's time works differently than the timeline. So how I think this pocket dimension works is it is in the quantum realm. I don't think it's the city in Ant-Man 2. We already know that that is supposed to be Kang's city, I believe. But it's possible that they're in the quantum realm, and that's why time works different. And also that they're able to see all the way from the beginning of time till as far as the timekeepers have worked it out. So that's my theory. What do you guys think? Comment in the comments below. If they already explained this by the time this video is posted, call me an idiot. That's fine. And I could be completely wrong. I could be completely right. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. And follow me on all my social media down below. It's That Nerd Ryan letting you know we're all superheroes on the inside.